That's exactly why. You're like a big baby.
Put both hands on my upper butt and squeeze.
My wife had an affair with her coworker.
Here we go. Come on! Come on! Everyone come in. Everyone's welcome in here, alright? Long time no see, guys. Long time, man. But I'm back. We're back together as a family. We're reacting to some, you know, those Reddit story things, you know, with the Minecraft guys playing and the guy cooking the nasty, disgusting looking food, that thing. We're gonna be reacting to a couple of those. See, I found a few. I didn't watch them. I didn't listen to them, I mean. Live reaction, alright? So, you know, follow me and let's watch.
Farted in a kid's face at inflatable park. I'll keep it.
See, you just can't make this up.
And sweet. I took my 2.5-year-old girl to our local indoor inflatable park. She was loving it. She was so happy jumping around just being a kid. As she climbed the steps up to the top of a slide, so does a 6 to 7-year-old barreling up the steps as well. He pushes her out of the way, and she falls face first down the steps and begins to cry. I knew we would have to seek revenge.
No. See, I'm wondering, how does this translate to him taking this act?
So I swiftly snatched her up, and we began to ascend the 10-15 steps up to the top of the inflatable slide together. As my stomach rumbled, I realized we had timed it perfectly. The kid who knocked my pride and joy down was once again barreling up the steps behind us, only this time to be met with the ferocious mud cloud concocted by none other than your finger. At last victory was ours, and we were redeemed. The kid shouted, "You something smells like poop," and I sobbed laughing. My daughter and I went down the slide together, and victory was ours. No. Victory isn't yours.
This is, no, because you can get, kicked out of parks for less than that. One mistake and you're out of there. Even if you're looking at kids strangely or doing something like that, you're out, bro. So farting in his face, and he said, "You something smells like." I'm done with this one. Next one. We're moving on. That was short. It was short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Second story. Let's dive right in.
What's your most soul-crushing experience that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy? I got ripped to shreds by a comedian at an open mic. My girlfriend's response wasn't so funny.
This is tough.
It destroyed me and I don't know how to recover. My girlfriend had been sending me nonstop.
No. This can't happen in front of your girlfriend. If there's one thing in front of your girlfriend, it's crazy. Doing it by yourself, but oh my, I'm scared. I'm scared.
This local comedian she found on YouTube. He went by Ubombatron. I took it as a sign and bought us tickets for one of his upcoming shows at a comedy club that wasn't too far from us. I never found him particularly amusing, but the tickets were cheap.
Ubombatron.
Just make my girlfriend happy and roll with it. I had never been to a designated comedy club before, so I had no idea what to expect.
Me neither.
I definitely didn't expect my life to be uprooted. The venue had the vibe of any typical bar in the city. The lights were dim. There were some colored lights bouncing off the walls, so the whole place looked blue. How does this go bad? There weren't assigned seats, and we got there kind of early, so we took the seats closest to the stage.
Stop.
Next thing I knew.
You took the seats closest to it? This isn't the NBA, bro. You don't get courtside seats to a comedy club. You just need to hear it. Sit in the back. Please. For the love of everything.
Drinks deep and feeling good. We should have just left right there. Waiting for him would turn out to be the high point of the night. The comedian finally came out and opened up with some cheesy one-liners to get the crowd warmed up.
Okay.
The crowd was decent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as to say he packed the place, but it wasn't a bad turnout.
Oh man.
After his first wave of jokes, I could see him scanning the crowd. I'm not a skinny guy. In fact, I'm far from it. My nickname in high school was Jelly Roll. I started to get nervous because I knew that I would be a likely target.
It's
over.
Far
too easy.
It's over.
My girlfriend must have noticed that I was a little bit uneasy because I could feel her give me a side eye and put her hand on top of mine on the table.
Bro is shaking in his boots. I would go to the bathroom, go to something. You know, stand up, move out. That might be worse, actually. If you get up, that might be worse. Okay, I'm not gonna keep pausing, but let's go.
The comedian did another couple of casual jokes about 9/11 before he stopped his scan and his gaze landed directly on me and my girlfriend. Oh no.
You know he's warming you know when they bust out the 9/11 joke, oh, he's warming up, he's getting warm, he's starting to get into his bag. getting in his bag. Okay.
My heart sank to the legs of the chair as he asked us where we were coming from. I lied and said Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Something about this approach made me want to remain as anonymous as possible.
Okay.
Everyone laughed at that answer, and I think that made this guy a little self-conscious because it was the hardest laugh he had gotten all night.
Yeah, don't make him mad.
Oh, so are you guys cousins? Crickets. Part of me felt bad.
Woo!
I started to gain a little sympathy for the man on stage.
It's not too
I
bad.
laughed it off and said no. Oh, got it. So you guys are brother and sister. Not quite. He did an exaggerated jaw drop and turned to the audience. Chuckles. He turned back to my girlfriend and said, please don't tell me you're on a date with the Pillsbury Doughboy over here. I could feel a familiar sting swirling in my stomach.
He's starting to swing on him. He's starting to swing on him. Careful. Careful. He's warmed up now. He's hot now. He's hot.
Of course I am. That's Bay.
Yes!
I prepared myself for the inevitable verbal flaying that I was certain was on the way. It was so much worse. He went on to absolutely fry me in front of everybody. I couldn't even hate. Some of the stuff was genuinely funny. I froze up. My whole body tense with restrained rage. I had learned that in these situations it's better to just laugh along with the group and pretend it didn't bother me. At one point, he said, this guy looks like a Teletubby who gets the munchies without ever smoking a gram of Mary Jane. For some reason that was the one that really hit home for me.
That was not even that funny.
Compared to a Teletubby, or if it was the fact that I really smoke every day.
Teletubby.
But something got to me. I forced a smile through gritted teeth. As I sat there and took my beating like a docile good pork roll, my girlfriend turned to me again. I could feel her examining my face. This made tears that weren't there before suddenly start welling up in my eyes. She took her hand off of mine and crossed her arms. I didn't want to turn my head to look at her. I didn't want this guy to know that he was really affecting me. I stayed locked on the stage, but I could see a face of disgust from the corner of my eye. Ironically, the weight jokes had made me feel skinnier because when the comedian finally moved on, I felt about 20 pounds lighter. Moving on was only the beginning of my problems that night.
Yes!
My girlfriend was a little too curt with me when I asked her if she wanted another drink. Anytime I would ask her anything actually or try to make a little side joke.
It's over. It's over. I told you, this can't happen in front of your girl. It can't. You can't let it happen, dude. Do you understand? No. Look. You cannot, under any circumstance. I don't care what you have to do. If you have to pull out a bomb from your pocket to stop him, but you can't let it happen. It's over. He's cooked. He was already lucky. He was big and she was already.
Just shut it down immediately. After the show was over, we headed back out to my car. She didn't say a word. I plugged in my address to the GPS, and I could tell she had been mulling this over. It almost felt rehearsed when she said, take me home.
Oh no!
Question. The car ride was the most awkward moment.
Take me
It
home.
wasn't even that bad between us on the first date when we didn't know each other. When we got to her place, I parked out front. She just sat in the passenger seat silent for a few minutes. Finally, she said, I don't think this is going to work. I was used to rejection.
It's over.
My whole life I had been rejected.
Told you it's over. I told you it's over. It's done right now. As soon as she heard Teletubby with the munchies, it was over. And people are laughing and joking around with you, and now you're just a punk.
What I was dealing with was nonsense conflict in a 3-year relationship. I was dumbfounded.
3 years.
It felt like my heart had just been hit by a bus. She stared at me waiting for a response. I couldn't give her one. She continued, that's exactly why. You're like a big baby. Fighting for anything. She was trying to get me to react, but I just couldn't. She whipped the car door open and got out. Before slamming the door in my face, she left me with one last tidbit. How can I know you're going to defend me when you're too weak to defend yourself from fat jokes in front of a crowd of people laughing at you? I just stared straight ahead. The tears were back. She scoffed and slammed the door before heading right inside hers.
This is
now
tough.
I felt like she had taken the bus and reversed back over my heart. I was crushed. I was praying that she was just a little more faded and emotional from the 2 drinks. However, in our follow-up phone conversation the next day, she told me she was serious. She said she needed some space and that we probably shouldn't talk for a while. I respected it. She had left her hoodie in my car, so I called her 2 days after that. The phone didn't even ring. That was the last time I've heard her voice since. When I texted her, my messages were green. Some dude named Steve was on the other end telling me I had the wrong number. It was over. All the work, time, energy, money.
Wait, he said his name was what?
Love had been thrown out the window because of a comedy show. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
He said his name was Steve? Bro, that's terrible. I'd wish it on my worst enemy though. Let's move on.
Creepy old guy that grabbed my hips at a party. I was at a New Year's party and some of the company was nasty. Was in the route to the door, talking but not in front of it when some guy 50 years my senior put both hands on my upper butt and squeezed and moved me out.
It said hips. upper button squeezed. That's when you have to. He thought because it was crowded, he could sneak one. He thought he could. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Like, no, man. I know it's you.
But I whispered to my BF as we were walking out of the party later. He noticed the guy had gone into the bathroom, so he turned all the lights off. We heard the guy shit in darkness. I know it's only tiny, but the thought of him scrabbling for toilet paper makes me feel a bit better.
Creepy old guy that.
What? That's it? That's it? So the story is he walked into the bath. I mean, he walked past her, grabbed her booty, went away and used the bathroom, and she was like, "Oh, that made me feel better." What? Maybe it just is too easy for him. Next video.
My wife had an affair with her coworker. Link to update him in desperate need of help and advice. I 28M found out that my wife 28M had an affair with her former supervisor 35M at work, who's married himself with kids, who have been married for 5 years, and were high school sweethearts. We were each other's first relationship and first everything. When we were little kids, we were even neighbors. She has always been there. We both came from broken homes, but we always hit each other, and we created something different than what we grew up seeing, or at least that's what I thought.
Right.
Maybe I was just one big idiot the entire time. I still work remote while my wife has since gone back to being in person. There's not many women in her field, and she used to vent to me a lot that her job was more in line with a boys club. Her AP, who was still her supervisor at the time.
Wait! So she just came right out and laid it out flat for you, and what did you say? Alright. Oh, it's like a boys club. Alright, go on ahead in, wife. Go to the boys club. Work at the boys club. Woo! Yeah! And now look. Alright. Here we go. She's working at the boys club. Let's go, man.
Was one of the good ones supposedly, and looked out for my wife at work. Recently, my wife received a promotion and I was so happy for her. She was now a supervisor herself. This came some new responsibilities, such as having to take a few business trips during the year. Her first trip happened last week, Wednesday through Friday. Before she left, I told her that I'd be rooting for her from home, and she told me that she'd be leaving her heart with me and to take care of it. That's something she always says to me whenever we have to be apart. On Monday, she came home from work early. I could immediately tell that something was wrong. She looked overwhelmed, and there was a red mark on her right cheek. My wife is pale and tends to bruise easily. I asked her what happened, but she only asked me to hug her, said she just wanted to feel my embrace. I hugged her, and after a few moments, she proceeded to say there was an incident at work. She sat me down on the couch and made the confession that has destroyed me and completely uprooted my life. She had intimacy with her former supervisor on the team lead trip.
So what's with the cheek?
At first it was like I was watching it happen to someone else, or like she was going to reveal it was a cruel joke. I think I would have accepted the cruel joke over reality. I was quiet during her whole confession, not saying one word. I was just in shock. Cheating is a sensitive topic for me, as it is for a lot of people. My own family was wrecked by an affair my dad had. I'm the one who caught him cheating and told my mom. My dad and his relationship is not good at all because he blames me for ruining the family, and he has never forgiven me. My wife saw what cheating did to my family and knew how much it tore me apart. Heck, she's seen me cry over this back when we were teens, and she comforted me. And then she turns around and does this to me? To us? Apparently, the man's own wife found out and confronted her husband and my wife at work. It was a big scene with employees and customers all present. The woman had called my wife white trash and slapped her. After the slap, other employees started interfering and the woman was escorted out of the building. My wife then called her older sister 30F. In her words, she said her sister scolded her and told her that she needed to tell me about the affair and that I needed to hear it from her. I still never said a word, and she asked me to please say something. The only thing I could muster up to say in the moment was I needed her to tell me what happened on the trip. She said on the second day of the trip.
Stop. At that point, like, it sort of confirmed she did what she did, blah, blah, blah. At that point, it's like, what do you even care anymore? It's like, ask any questions you want to, like, it's like, I don't have anything to say anymore. Like, it's done. It's over. There's nothing to say. Just like that girl with the comedy club, there's just nothing to say. It's just, all right, you know. You're cooked. It's over.
Drinks with the other team leads, and that the group stayed out late and she felt like she needed to participate for a team bonding experience. Throughout the night, each team lead wandered off until it was only her and her former supervisor left, and they went back to his room to listen to music. He kept complimenting her and telling her how sexy she was.
She knew what she was doing.
He wouldn't be able to keep his hands off her. He eventually kissed her. My wife told me she doesn't know what came over her, and that she wasn't thinking clearly, but she let him keep kissing her, which then turned to him groping her. They progressed to having sex. I didn't want any more details because I couldn't take it, and I got
That's what I'm saying. What are you asking for?
She reached out to take my hand, but I moved away and told her not to touch me. She broke down crying and started profusely apologizing and begging for forgiveness, saying how it was the biggest mistake of her life, that she hates herself, and she wishes she could take it back. She kept repeating how much she loves me and only me, that the alcohol clouded her judgment. I told her she needed to leave. She needed to call her sister to pick her up. She got up from the couch, crying even more, and tried to hug me, but I moved away again. She begged me not to do this, saying all kinds of stuff like she will quit her job, give me full access to her phone, saying well, do counseling.
There's no need to beg.
I told her if she wasn't going to leave the house then I would. I didn't even stop to pack a bag or anything, but just went for the door. She grabbed my arm, I guess, to try to stop me from leaving, and kept pleading for me not to do this, and saying
yeah, there's no need to beg. Don't bother begging. You're cooked. It's over. Done. No need to beg. Don't beg me. It's the worst mistake of your life. Yeah, and what am I supposed to do about it?
Thing we've been through, that this can't be the end of us. Despite everything, seeing her in that state and leaving her behind while she was crying still tore me apart because I love her. I love her more than I ever thought was possible to love someone else. But she broke me. She tossed our entire life and future away. I ended up going to my mom's house, and that's currently where I'm staying. I don't know how I kept my senses during the drive, but when I arrived, I just cried. I don't even think my mom has even seen me cry as a teen or an adult. The only person who's ever seen me cry is my wife. I did tell my mom what happened because I honestly didn't know how to keep it from her with me showing up at her place in that way. She was brokenhearted over it. She and my wife always got along. My mom treated her like a daughter. That was their relationship. She didn't pass any judgment, but said I could stay as long as I needed and tried to offer some words of comfort. Ever since I left, my wife has been blowing up my phone with calls and texts, but I haven't answered or wrote back. The texts have basically just been begging me to come home and to talk with her, asking where I am, and to please not give up on us. I just feel so broken. I thought I knew what this pain was like, but it's nothing compared to experiencing it yourself. I never thought my wife would do something like this. I always had the belief that there was no coming back from cheating for me, that the relationship would be over. But now I keep thinking if I should give our relationship another chance, go to counseling together and try to salvage the relationship.
Stop.
I keep thinking back to all the history we have. How much I love her, how we always felt like matching puzzle pieces, and how when I thought I had no one, she was there. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to proceed. I'm at a loss.
Nah, see? You can't, that's the inner, guy that's just gonna accept it. You can't go back, bruh. She cooked it like the girl with the girl who went to Steve. She wasn't contemplating, maybe I should just go back to him and give him another chance. And he didn't even do nothing wrong. This girl violated the whole everything. And you're thinking maybe I should just, no, it's done, bruh. It's done. It's over. She did the worst thing you could possibly do. Man. All right. I don't know how many more we're going to do, but maybe we're on our last couple. If this one is good, we'll watch it and try the next one. But, I don't know. We'll see.
I busted a huge load in my girlfriend and got her pregnant.